this just one guy, or is this a class action?
I can't remember.
It's like
I think it was just a single user, but it may have gone class action. I don't know. I can't say for certain.
If it doesn't turn into a class action, it's just one guy, I'm inclined to think this is a little bit of somebody just being a little inya. Although this is a flaw, and you know, to be honest, this is also a flaw with Android. This is a flaw with all these devices. With Android, you can root your phone and put it back, I guess, and I guess you can do it. But if you upgrade your phone and it breaks it, what's a good end-user, simple push-button way to downgrade? You know, to retro upgrade, go back to the last stable version. It doesn't really exist on any platform. And there's not really a good way to just plug your device into a computer or something and, you know, back it up in its current form before you upgrade. Like, this doesn't really exist. So if
I think there's good reason for that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, inevitably, you do wind up... There are issues with upgrading, and that upgrading can break stuff. And if it's something that's essential to you, you know, you might want to downgrade. It's like this one way only with no ability to back up to opt out, even knowing that you're not going to be joining the current world. It is a potential problem.
Yeah, thing is that a lot of people, if that option is offered, the problem is they're going to do it regardless of if the upgrade actually is very, very useful. If it's very, very, you know, it's a lot of people are going to say, oh, I like the old way, and they're going to change. And that's a problem because that stops technology from moving forward as much because they're just going to stick with the old version. And a lot of times the new upgrade may have bugs, it may have things people don't like. The fact is it has a lot of APIs and a lot of features that are going to let people make some really amazing stuff. And if the people aren't on it, they're not going to make it there. And that's the problem I have with offering a downgrade option, because I think that too many people will take that for the exact reason you stated with the XP, because people inherently like the older stuff. But they also like to try new things, but they like going back.
Well, but you know, like with the XP situation, all these XP holdouts, nobody's making stuff for XP anymore. That line in the sand has been drawn. It's like that isn't coming. You know, and it's the same thing with Linux.
Linux compatible. People are making. People put a lot of effort to get XP compatible. They're not making it specifically for XP, but most companies that I see, they're XP compatible.
Yes and no. In that there are certain functions going forward that just aren't going to be on XP. And there's certain software. It's really, when we get into the Windows 8 days, I'm seeing, you know, no real effort for XP being made, because we're getting into we're getting into 64-bit. We're getting into, it's not going to happen. The line in the sand's being drawn, and for all we know, come 2014, it'll be impossible to activate Windows XP legally. It's like I really do think that's coming. I hope I'm paranoid, but I really do see it coming.
I agree that nobody's making stuff for XP, but they still do, as a developer, if they can, put an effort to make it compatible.
But if they're using any of this new stuff,
with phones, you know, it took what, like almost 10 years for that to happen, where people aren't making stuff for XP anymore. I don't want to wait that long with everything. So.
Well, it's where I see it being the problem is it's not so much a problem now because it's not. But if hopefully at some point we get these unlocked devices, you should have the option to go, well, the specs of my phone doesn't meet the recommended specs, but there's all these new features, so I really would like to see if it can run it without fear of, oh, now I don't have a usable phone at all.
So you want something like a live CD, but for phones?
Well, no, I want the ability to upgrade and then downgrade back. If your phone just can't run it. Or you just can't do the new things, or yada yada and so forth.
It's not, they have to, program that downgrade, and, it's not a very exciting thing to do. It takes work. It might take, a significant amount of work, especially if they've done anything once they're upgraded.
Well, no, see, honestly, what I would prefer is basically these phones are getting big enough memory now. I would prefer just building something in the equivalent to the restore partition on pretty much any OEM computer you buy today. In which case, if it screws up, I can restore the phone to a stable version.
Yeah, I still think that a better option would just being able to test the version, like running it in RAM like a live CD.
The only problem I'm seeing with that is some things just don't run the same in a live CD as they would. So for certain slugishnesses and other things, you wouldn't be able to get a good feel until you actually install.
Yeah, but I feel that it would be better than because I feel that downgrade's bad for, the reason I stated that a lot of people would do it, and also the reason that it's, especially if they've done something on it, it can be close to impossible to downgrade it. If they've added features, they have to change files. All the files were
that's why I'm saying the ability to back up and have a restore ISO of some type, just because downgrading doesn't work well. But if you've backed up before you upgrade, and I'll let you in on a little secret, most people won't back up before they upgrade.
Yeah.
So
I there should be some kind of backup before upgrade. Yeah. That's possible option.
Right. It's like so people who are worried about, well, maybe I'll have a problem, they can avail themselves of that option. And the average end user won't, so we won't have the problem you're worried about. Grandma will just go, this phone sucks. Throw it in the trash can. I need a new one. That's like.
What I see is that if companies allow for that kind of thing, backing up data and restoring onto the phone, that's a big thing that people are going to be able to exploit to install, Linux or custom ROMs on it, and that's going to be hard for these manufacturers to lock down the device if they do have that kind of upgrading.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I neglect to mention that I'm all for a free world? And I like the fact that it opens that back door? Shh! You're letting them in on my evil plan. Shh! I'm hoping they don't notice it till it's too late. It's like...
And as much as I am too, that's something that's not good for manufacturers who want to do that. So
I'm a big fan of making it clear to the manufacturers that is a stupid and outdated business model, because it really is at this point. This is like my pet peeve with any manufacturer. If you made hardware that's capable of doing something and you want to keep me from doing it, I deserve the right to override you because I bought it. It's not yours anymore. It's mine now. It's like...
keep the warranty, though. It sucks.
I see.
Okay, we're going kind of long.
We're going long.
Is that warranties for, like, software will often void out your warranty for hardware, too. So if you drop your phone and the screen cracks, but if you rooted your device, you don't get your warranty for the screen crack.
I scream bullshit on that. I would like to see a class action suit on that. It's like this is the equivalent, and I know IBM would try this. Lenovo would try this. Oh yes, I installed Linux on my Windows computer. Oh well, that's why your hard drive broke.
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
From what I've known, a person has a bunch of things writing letters to get his warranty because he dropped his device and they wouldn't place it because he had Linux on it. But I know companies will do this.
Oh yeah.
I know that you do. If you're returning your computer, you should probably install Windows on it before you return it. If you're it's not returning, but if you're getting it to go get it fixed, you have to do. That's what I had to do when my laptop, when the top thing broke, when one of the hinges came off. I made sure to install Windows on it before I gave it back to them, because it's not a good idea, because they will use that as a reason to void your warranty.
You know what's so stupid about that? All of these companies refuse to offer any software warranties.
Yeah.
Which means it's a hardware warranty only, and a hardware warranty is independent of a software warranty. As a matter of fact, I came about this close to suing Lenovo once because I got in an argument with a Lenovo person. They were arguing. They're like, "Well, we don't provide any software warranties." I'm like, "Oh, really? So you're refusing to honor a hardware warranty because of software warranties which you don't honor?" They all of a sudden the line went dead, and they're like, "Here's the nearest Lenovo support center." And I'm like, it's like they put a defective hard drive in it. Was what they did. It's like it had nothing to do with it.
And usually they'll give in, but I mean, companies do. Yeah, it sucks.
Well, no, this is the thing. It's like we're making fun of PC manufacturers, but I should point out Apple's just as retarded in this. It's like, oh, have you tried upgrading OS 10? Oh, that's your problem. It's a hardware problem. It's like, that's.
You do everything Apple asks, though. They're usually pretty nice to you.
Yes, but if they're asking you to do something stupid, I'm not inclined to obey. I think we've actually covered everything except for the fact that Apple. Well, we haven't